is why it's important to explain that the particles versus fats first, because once you understand that, all of this falls into place. This comes from some of these classical studies from Framingham, where they're looking at these fats in the blood. And so again, these fats will generally correlate with risk. Why? Because people who have more particles, more lipoproteins, tend to have a larger amount of fats trafficking. This is like if you think in terms of like buses on the road, right? Or vehicles on the road. If you count, you can count the number of vehicles. Okay, there's these many buses or these many cars, or you can count the number of passengers traveling at any given time. In general, if there's more people on the road, there's going to be more vehicles. There's going to be a correlation, but it's not going to be perfect, right? Because you can have a bus that's full of people or empty, and so there's a disconnect there. We call that a discordance. In lipidology, it's called discordance. It's when the number of vehicles and the amount of fats, the amount of passengers doesn't match. When that happens, the number of vehicles prevails. So it's the number of the lipoproteins that determines risk. The fats are a rough estimate. So yeah, you can look at somebody's LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, triglycerides, and get a general idea. They're red flags that are valid, but they get things wrong all the time. All three of them. So high LDL cholesterol doesn't necessarily mean you're in trouble. Depends on the number of vehicles. High triglycerides, exact same thing. If you have very high triglycerides, generally you have more vehicles because they traffic the triglycerides back and forth. And it's a large type of vehicle that are actually quite nasty. But if your triglycerides are high, but your number of vehicles is not high, you're fine. And trials have done this. Reducing triglycerides without reducing the number of vehicles doesn't do anything. So these things are red flags, but always remember, you're looking at indirect measures that sometimes get things wrong. So over-focusing on triglycerides, HDL, and even LDL cholesterol will often get things wrong. And the irony is these folks like to point to the weaknesses of these metrics, but then they use those weaknesses to make their arguments, thereby making all the mistakes that they accuse others of doing.